You really thought the $850,000 house was yours? My dad said, loud enough for the whole Thanksgiving table to hear. My fork froze midair. You were just helping out, he added. Then he slid an envelope across the table and smiled. My name is Danielle Harper. I'm 34 years old, and I've spent most of my life being the dependable one in my family. I'm a registered nurse at a local hospital. Long shifts, double weekends, holidays. I've done them all without complaining. 3 years ago, when my mom got sick, I moved back into my childhood home to help. I covered the utilities, paid half the mortgage, and drove her to every appointment. I barely slept, but I told myself it was worth it. After she passed, Dad said it made sense for me to stay. It's your home too, he told me. I believed him. I wasn't rich or glamorous. I didn't wear designer clothes or drive anything new. But I had something they didn't expect. Discipline, patience, and a folder on my laptop filled with every payment I'd ever made. My younger brother Tyler was always the one they praised. The smooth talker. The one they said would go far. I was just the quiet daughter who helped. That Thanksgiving, I realized they had a very different plan for me. If you've ever been the responsible one, the one who shows up and keeps everything together, subscribe right now. Have you ever felt like your effort was erased? Tell me in the comments. Click hype or like this video if you know that feeling. Let's keep going. Thanksgiving dinner was loud and crowded. The smell of roasted turkey and sweet potatoes filled the air. My aunt kept laughing too loudly. My cousins scrolled on their phones. I had cooked half the meal in that kitchen. Dad stood up and tapped his glass. I have an announcement, he said. Tyler leaned back in his chair like he already knew. Dad cleared his throat. I'm putting the house in Tyler's name. He has a family to think about. The room went quiet. I felt heat rush to my face. What about the money I've been paying? I asked softly. Dad looked at me like I was confused. That was rent, Danielle. Don't get confused. Tyler chuckled. You're not exactly homeowner material. A few people shifted in their seats. My aunt said, it's only fair. Tyler's building something. Dad slid the envelope toward me. Just sign this rental acknowledgement so there's no confusion. I opened it. It was typed, dated months back. He wanted me to sign as if I had agreed I was only a tenant. Then he said something worse. Your mom agreed this house would go to Tyler. My chest tightened. I knew that wasn't true. I had been there every night with her. But I didn't argue. Not yet. After that night, things changed fast. Dad stopped letting me send payments directly to the lender. I'll handle it, he said. I later found out Tyler had been telling relatives I lived there for free. At church, he joked, Danielle's freeloading phase is finally over. People smiled at him like he was brave. I felt small, angry, embarrassed. Dad kept pushing the paper at me. If you love this family, you won't fight us, he said. Tyler added, better start apartment hunting. January's close. I lay awake at night, listening to the old house creak, thinking about every overtime shift I worked. Every birthday I missed. I started gathering everything. Bank statements, transfer confirmations, texts. I called the probate lawyer's office and asked a simple question about the will draft. The assistant paused and said, you should review page 4 carefully. Page 4. That stuck with me. What they didn't know was that I keep everything. Every receipt. Every message. I had 3 years of proof showing I paid half the mortgage directly to the lender. I had texts from Mom saying, this house will always be yours too. I even had a voicemail from Dad thanking me for saving the house. When the assistant mentioned page 4, she said it covered substantial financial contributions by a child toward property, reimbursement, or partial ownership. Dad must not have read that carefully. I didn't confront him. I didn't argue at dinner. I waited. Mr. Reynolds, the probate lawyer, had known my mother for 20 years. His office smelled like old books and polished wood. He adjusted his glasses as he looked through my folder. Bring this to the will reading, he told me quietly. He didn't promise anything, but his voice changed after he saw the numbers. This isn't small, he said. Meanwhile, Dad told everyone it was settled. Tyler talked about knocking down walls and repainting. They assumed I would leave quietly. I nodded when they spoke. I smiled when they bragged. Inside, I was steady. Friday came. We sat in Mr. Reynolds' office. Dad looked confident. Tyler smirked. The will reading began. Standard phrases. Assets divided. Then Mr. Reynolds cleared his throat. Page 4 addresses substantial financial contribution by Danielle Harper toward the mortgage. Dad shifted. Tyler frowned. The lawyer continued, calm and clear. This clause requires reimbursement of all documented payments plus interest, or formal co-ownership. Tyler snapped. That's ridiculous. Mr. Reynolds slid my documents across the desk. These transfers total over $147,000. Silence. Dad muttered. She was helping. The lawyer met his eyes. Helping does not create this paper trail. He added that if contested, the court could freeze any transfer. The air felt tight. Tyler's smirk vanished. For the first time, they understood I wasn't guessing. I was prepared. I didn't yell. I didn't celebrate. I said, I never wanted to fight. I just wanted fairness. Dad avoided my eyes. Tyler stared at the table. The transfer was postponed. Weeks later, Dad called and spoke politely, respectfully. We negotiated. I chose reimbursement and moved into a smaller place across town. It isn't fancy, but every corner is mine. I walk in after work and feel peace. I wasn't the loud one. I wasn't the favorite, but I refused to be erased. Strength does not always shout. Sometimes it stands quietly, holding receipts. If your family ever minimized your financial support or acted like your money did not matter, you know this pain. Share your story in the comments. I'm reading them. Subscribe if you have been taken advantage of financially. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every hype you give this video helps empower someone else. Thank you for being here and for listening.